You're watching CarTell.tv and I'm Simone.
Let's face it, electric cars are here to stay.
Whether you love them or hate them, surely by now you have considered for yourself, could I, would I, or even should I? As more and more options are entering the market from more and more manufacturers, all three of those questions are becoming a lot easier to answer with yes, yes, and yes.
Anyway, I will be doing another video where I take a general look at EVs.
But sticking to topic, in this video, I'm taking a look at the latest 2020 edition of the all-electric Ioniq from Hyundai.
Now, I'll just quickly note Hyundai offer the Ioniq as a hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or the all-electric one that I have. And following the recent thought process of Hyundai, it's been upping the game within its price range.
The latest 2020 update brought some minor changes, as well as one major one, which is very important, and that is the range. Still, it's been a few years since we saw the first Ioniq, and in a market segment that's been evolving rapidly, did the Ioniq need a more thorough update? Let's see.
In terms of design, it's a bag of mixed feelings. It doesn't look like a Prius, so that's good, but it still has this abomination where the grille should be, and the elevated rear part that resembles the one on the Prius.
Guys, it didn't work on the BMW GT models, and those are classy upmarket vehicles, let alone here.
In terms of individual features, it looks nice. The headlights are modern, the bonnet is nice and sleek, and the rear has this spoiler. But all put together, it's not the prettiest thing out there.
And another thing, this spoiler really spoils my rear visibility.
The electric motor that hides behind that horrid grille-wannabe thing has 100 kilowatts of power and 295 newton meters of torque.
I'll also note that unlike many of the electric vehicles we've reviewed, when you pop the bonnet on this vehicle,
you can actually see the electric motor.
Which is cool, only because of the fact that we couldn't see the motor in the Teslas or most of the other electric cars we've reviewed.
But other than that, you can just see there's plenty of space around in here.
Which makes me think that the whole thing could have been condensed a little and we could have been given more space for our charging cables or those treasured toilet rolls.
With a 100 kilowatt charger at a DC fast charging station, a recharge will take 54 minutes, which is the fastest option. An AC charger at home will take a bit over 6 hours. With that kind of juice, the range goes up to just over 300 kilometres officially. We've seen about 250 kilometres of range in mixed driving and while testing, so that's close enough to the official figure. I have to mention the emergency charging cable that you get in the car.
It sounds like a great perk, and generally it is, but it's actually the standard charger, which officially takes 18 hours to charge. Not really a definition of emergency. If you actually want to add a Type 2 lead,
and you will when at public stations like this one,
an official Hyundai lead will cost you $495, although you can get generic ones online for under $300. Just something to factor into the cost because you will need it, and I don't have one. Fortunately today I'm at a charging station which comes with its own lead.
The official 300 plus kilometres of range with this 38 kilowatt battery in the 2020 model is a nice increase over the 28 kilowatt battery in the old one. It gives an extra 30% of range, and at this level that really starts to matter.
However, I have to say that despite the increase, I think the range could still be a little higher.
I think of it this way, the Kona has well over 400 kilometres easily, and that's made within the same brand. I wish that at least the extra range could be offered as an option, like in the Teslas.
But anyway, despite my idealist expectations, let's be realistic. Are you likely to drive 300 kilometres per day all that often or ever? And if you are, like I said in my last review, then all you need to do is factor in those 50-minute stops at the charging station. Outside of that, most of us are going to drive on average, 30 to 50 kilometres per day? So you can plug in and charge every night. And for that, this Ioniq more than does the job. And that means you never have to stop at a servo again, unless you need bread and milk.
Electric motors have instant torque delivery, and this is very nice in everyday driving, even in cars that are far from performance vehicles. A small, naturally aspirated internal combustion engine usually requires some hard revving for any kind of a spirited response. A small turbo engine gives enough punch, but there's usually that small but noticeable lag between the throttle push and the actual kick in the back.
Electric motors give the kick instantly, and with 295 newton meters, you'll notice it.
In this Ioniq, there are 4 driving modes called Normal, Eco Plus and Sport.
The Normal is aimed at being the perfect compromise between performance and economy.
It gives some push when the throttle is pressed harder, at the expense of the range, but nothing really special.
However, it's great for fast acceleration from traffic lights or sudden overtakes. Basically, it's calm with some power in reserve waiting to kick in when needed.
The Eco is said to smooth out the throttle response. Now, translated from the positively worded marketing talk,
But in plain Jane English, this is for gutless driving.
the Eco Plus goes a step further and sets a speed limit at 90 kilometres per hour, adding more power to regenerative braking.
And yep, even in Australia, turning off the aircon. So basically it's a gutless oven that you never want to drive in the summer.
And then there's the Sport. It gives all the torques instantly, makes throttle response noticeably more immediate, and it even changes the way the steering wheel feels.
It becomes heavier and more precise, which is great for spirited driving. And it does this well. So if you have solar panels at home, I'd just always drive in sports mode.
Hyundai says it will shift perceptions of green vehicle performance.
And to be honest, at this level, it kind of does. It gives a nice punch and the steering wheel precision is a nice addition.
But if I'm going to compare it to some of the more expensive electric models I've reviewed, not even close to any perception shifting.
The perception of green vehicle performance is so far from what it was a decade ago.
Some EVs can almost snap your neck accelerating right now. Trust me, I've driven a few of them.
As for comfort, the electric version gets torsion beam for the back, while the others get multi-link.
It makes the ride a bit harsher in general. However, just like other Hyundai models, this one also got an Australian tune, so it's far from bad.
Now, some of you may think that this means it wallows like a boat, but it actually doesn't.
The batteries are nice and low, under the floor, and that really helps keep the electric Ioniq stable.
The interior is all new. In fact, it's probably the most obvious upgrade in the whole vehicle.
The new layout is a lot better. The interior feels spacious, more upmarket, and generally improved.
The materials are okay, but you will find some harder plastics here and there. Nothing unexpected, really.
The 10.25-inch screen is perfectly positioned. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It looks good, it's perfectly sized and easy to use once you get used to the interface. However, there's one complaint. Touchscreen buttons have no haptic feedback when using Apple CarPlay.
Now, when I'm scrolling through Hyundai's menu, I get haptic feedback. However, when I go to Apple CarPlay, strangely, it disappears.
There's loads of storage space, including a bin in the central console that gives wireless charging on the top models, 2 cup holders up front, a nice space under the screen, glove box, a bin under the armrest, door bins. You get it, there's space for small items.
It's worth noting that these things that look like paddle shifters for the gearbox are actually used for adjusting the power of regenerative braking.
In the back, it's big enough, but it's also not really spacious for adults. Despite the bulky rear design, headroom is not awesome for taller passengers.
What I don't like is the fact that there's this tunnel on the floor. On an electric vehicle, I'd really like to know why they needed it.
In short, it's big enough, but far from cavernous.
The boot is also okay.
Of course, it's smaller than the one in the hybrid, which has 456 litres, but actually a bit bigger than the one in the plug-in hybrid. It stands at 357 litres to the top of the seats, 462 litres to the roof, and 1,417 litres with the seats folded.
In terms of safety, the Electric Elite that I have here is the lower of 2 trim levels, but still it comes pretty packed with safety goodness.
Just some key features include blind spot collision warning, driver attention warning, forward collision avoidance assist, lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert, smart cruise control with stop and go function, rear view camera, rear parking sensors, and more.
The Ioniq Electric does a lot of things well, but it's still not perfect. The 2020 upgrade brought a significantly better interior and a longer range. Now the Hyundai Kona still boasts an even longer range, but that's about 10 grand more expensive, which is significant. This being the electric version and considered top of the offer, even the lower trim comes packed with features.
Another good thing that gives EV drivers peace of mind is battery warranty, and the one in the Ioniq comes with an 8-year or 160,000 kilometre warranty, whichever comes first. Pricing for the latest Ioniq starts at around $53,000 drive away for this Elite, or $57,000 drive away if you want to go for the premium. Also, for the in-home charger installed, add $2,000 and that extra few hundred for a Type 2 lead.
So, how good is it all put together?
At this price range for an EV, it's actually pretty good, among the best offers out there.
The latest Ioniq Electric is a great option for anyone looking into an affordable EV. Well, as affordable as they are right now anyway. Thanks for watching CarTell TV. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media. Now, the wonderful thing about CarTell TV is we have viewers from all over the world. And in these unprecedented times where these events are impacting every single one of us, we'd just like to say that we hope that you and all your loved ones are staying safe and healthy. Normally the comments are about the cars, but feel free to share your individual experiences with us. We've got a genuine interest in how you're all doing, and we'd like to stay connected. So we'll keep putting up reviews whenever we can. So take care, look after yourselves, and we'll see you in the next review.